In 1998, Andrea Sincota was found dead and stuffed into a closet in the Arlington, Virginia home she shared with her fiancé, Chris Johnson. She had been strangled. Now, Johnson says that when he returned home on August the 21st, 98, he could not find Sincota. It was her day off, and though she had plans, she did not show up for any of them. There were a number of messages on the answering machine as well, which was unusual. It was hours after his return that he opened the bedroom closet and found her inside. He called 911. Only a year later in Fairfax, Virginia, a little girl, just 13, was abducted, raped, and nearly murdered. Her would-be killer left her for dead in a closet. For that brutal crime, Bobby Joe Leonard was sentenced in 2000 to life in prison. Johnson, however, was a primary suspect for Arlington police for Sincota's death. Johnson was interrogated by police for several days. At no time did he ask for a lawyer. He knew he hadn't killed his fiancée, so why would he need a lawyer? The detectives investigating the case were aggressive, yelling in his face that he was the murderer. They lied to him, saying that Sincota was alive after he came home, and they found fingerprints on her, his fingerprints. Up to that point, Johnson had trusted police. He was shocked that they could lie to him like that, he said. Questioning would go on for 25 hours over several days, and Johnson was exhausted. He started to tell the detectives about a dream vision that he had, where he argued with and hurt Sincota. He wrote down the vision, still not asking for a lawyer. But the admission, as police would call it, did not match the forensics in the case. Sincota was strangled to death. Johnson wrote about a blow to the head. He was released without charges after this ordeal. Now, Sincota had a son, Kevin, who told investigators about a man his mother had contact with. His mother told him that she had given her computer to this man, someone who had been working at the apartment complex. Johnson also mentioned the man to police. He noted that it was not like Sincota to talk to a perfect stranger or allow one into her apartment. Neither Kevin nor Johnson knew the man's name. Neither of them knew that the man had only recently been released from prison after convictions for assault and forcible sodomy. Investigators would later identify the man as Leonard. At the time of his interview, before he tried to kill the little girl in Fairfax, he was in a Philadelphia jail for assaulting his wife. Those charges were dropped. They questioned him about Sincota, and he denied knowing anything about her death. They took his DNA and fingerprints. Neither were found in the apartment. Meanwhile, the crime scene was compromised. Touch DNA found on Sincota was not able to be tested. Leonard was not charged at the time. When Leonard committed the attempted murder in Fairfax, no one drew the connection back to the Sincota scene. The strangulation and leaving the body in the closet that bore such close similarity to Sincota's death. Johnson moved on, eventually meeting and marrying Ginny Greve. Greve knew about the murder investigation from their first date. He also remained friends with Kevin, but by 2018 they had drifted apart and rarely spoke. Until 2018, when Kevin asked him to have lunch with him. Kevin was working with investigators. Kevin, at that lunch, tried to get Johnson to say something incriminating, something that could be recorded on the wire he was wearing. Kevin told Johnson that he believed Johnson killed his mother. Johnson said that really hurt him. He did not say anything incriminating on that wire. There was nothing incriminating to tell. Leonard, in 2018, would say that he received a call from Sincota's boyfriend asking him to kill Sincota for $5,000. He never says he met Johnson. There were no phone records, bank records. The police would say they just didn't exist because the murder was so long ago. Leonard says he knew it was the boyfriend because he recognized Sincota's number on his call display. Based on Leonard's statement, Johnson was arrested and charged with murder for hire in November 2021. Leonard's ex-wife would testify that they didn't even have call display. Leonard also refused to take the stand and testify until prosecutors agreed to put in a request to have him transferred to a different, lower security prison with the Department of Corrections. Johnson maintained his innocence and says that he still grieves for Cincotta. He would tell 2020's Ryan Smith that he was sorry that he was not home to protect her when she was attacked. Johnson was acquitted by a jury in October 2022. The jury deliberated only an hour. On November 10, 2022, Leonard was given another life sentence for Cincotta's murder. 2 jurors provided interviews to 2020. One pointed out that Leonard never claimed to have met Johnson, and that left her with a reasonable doubt about what Leonard claimed. Another gave the so-called vision admission no weight. The police were just pushing him to get another answer, that juror would say. Kevin remains convinced that Johnson was responsible for his mother's murder. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying these videos and you want to see more, please click the subscribe button and hit those notifications so that you don't miss any uploads. We appreciate you. Thanks.